I'd like to welcome everybody to the Grizz. And of course, I'm your host, Rashad Grismore. I have a fun and exciting show for you today. LeBron James, I can't believe it. I can't believe he went back to Cleveland. How does everything fit? How does everyone feel? That's the big question. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy me. And let's get it. Thank you, everyone out there, for tuning in to me, the Grizz. However it is you are tuning in. LeBron James. Wow. If you haven't heard, you're getting ready to hear it now. He is no longer with the Miami Heat. He wrote an essay on Sports Illustrated saying that he is coming back home to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Wow. Now, I know on past shows I was strong in my opinion that LeBron James would never, ever, ever go back to Cleveland. Obviously, I was completely wrong. I was wrong as anyone could be. I just didn't think that he was going to do that. I didn't think so. I am truly at a loss of words for today. I am. I didn't think that this was going to occur. I really didn't think so. I did not think so. Especially what Dan Gilbert said about LeBron James and being a coward and everything. I didn't think that he was going to look at that letter and say, yeah, I'm going to come back and play for a man who doesn't like me. I didn't think he could do that, but obviously he can. And wow. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that LeBron James left Miami to come back to Cleveland. First of all, I never thought that. Oh man, I'm lost for words right now. Y'all gotta excuse me. I can't believe that he actually left. I can't believe that after 4 years, mind you, you just went to an NBA Finals and you leave after 4 seasons. Your 4 seasons in Miami, you were in the NBA Finals 4 consecutive years, and all of a sudden you just leave. Wow, wow. I mean, if I am a Miami Heat fan, how do I digest what just happened? How do I do that? I mean, being a Laker fan and the way in which Laker fans adorn Shaquille O'Neal, it was hard for us to see Shaq go. Even though we saw the decline in Shaquille O'Neal, but we remember the dominant years when Shaq was just dominant, just demolishing guys. Like literally demolishing guys. I remember watching Shaq play and he was going up against Dikembe Mutombo. And I'll never forget this. During the course of the game, they were in Philly, and I thought Dikembe Mutombo, I just knew Dikembe was flopping. I just knew he was. Until they showed the replay, and I said, oh my God, I feel so sorry for Dikembe. Shaq hit him with 2 elbows and then turned around and yammed on him. Yam don't even mean dunk on him. And I was just like, wow. We saw that Shaquille O'Neal leave and go to Miami. So I know, and let me remind you this. Shaq was, like I said before, his skills were deteriorating. LeBron James, his skills are ascending. He has just touched the peak of his career. Michael Jordan did not win his first NBA championship until he was 28 years old. Until he was 28. LeBron James is 29. So he has years in front of him to still carve out his own legacy. So if I am a Miami Heat fan, I am deeply hurt. I am deeply hurt that he left. 4 NBA Finals appearances straight. That's a hard feat to duplicate. It is. Only one team has done it within the last 30 years, and that was the Boston Celtics teams. Wow. I didn't think he was going to do it. I did not think he was going to leave Miami. But one thing I will say about LeBron James, and I'm not mad at him for leaving. I'm really not. If there was one place to go, it would be Cleveland. But I have to say this, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, is that how can LeBron James and Dan Gilbert coexist? Because Dan Gilbert says some malevolent things about LeBron. And mind you, he did not take down the letter until he really thought he could get him. It was what, a few days ago that he took down the letter about LeBron James? So he left it up for about 3.5 years, 4 years. He left it up. So I want to see how that relationship works out. Now LeBron has came out and said that he and Dan Gilbert have talked face to face, man to man, and that he made mistakes along the way. And that's why I respect LeBron James. That's why I do. Simply because he understood that he was at fault and he was just as complicit as Dan Gilbert. He understands that. He does. Because just imagine how Dan Gilbert feels. You're watching your star athlete who, mind you, Dan Gilbert made a lot of concessions for LeBron James. He allowed his family to come back in the locker room, his friends. He pretty much let LeBron James run amok. That's what he did. Whatever it is you want to do, LeBron James, you do it to appease him. And all of a sudden, on national television, you say, hey, I'm not staying here anymore. And you don't even tell Dan Gilbert. He finds out the way you and I find out. So if he found out that way, how would you feel? And sometimes we say things that are not true. And sometimes we say things that we really feel. It's just like someone gets mad and they say things and you say, wow, where did that come from? Obviously, you really felt that way from the get-go. Obviously, you did. But I think Dan Gilbert, he was extremely hurt. I mean, I think he took it a step too far, calling him a coward and everything like that. Now, some people have tried to make this out before the decision even happened with LeBron James coming back home, that, oh, it's black and white. And no, I don't look at it like that. There's no race involved in this. Donald Sterling taught you what race really is, what racism really is. Dan Gilbert was a man who was torn down. He was hurt. So he said things to make LeBron James feel the way in which he felt, even though LeBron James didn't feel anything. Well, take that back. He did. Because he said, and this is from Sports Illustrated, I'll just read just a little bit. He said, remember when I was sitting up there at the Boys and Girls Club in 2010, I was thinking, this is really tough. I could feel it. I was leaving something I had spent a long time creating. If I had to do it all over again, I'd obviously do things different, but I still have to leave. Miami for me has been almost like college for other kids. These past few years helped raise me into who I am. I became a better player and a better man. I learned from a franchise that had been where I wanted to go. I will always think of the Miami as my second home. Without the experience I had there, I wouldn't be able to do what I am doing today. So obviously, LeBron James, he had unfinished business. He had unfinished business. Now, Stephen A. Smith reported this last year that LeBron James was leaning towards going back to Miami, but I shoe-flied it. Well, not Miami, but Cleveland, and I shoe-flied it. Why would you want to go back to Cleveland? Why would you want to go back to a man who feels that way about you? But obviously he was right, and obviously LeBron James, he had unfinished business. He did. And like I said before, I'm glad that he took ownership in his role for what happened. I mean, it's wrong how he did it. I'm not mad at LeBron James for leaving Miami. I'm not mad at him, just like I'm not mad at him for leaving Cleveland. He had to. Cleveland was not a good basketball team. It was LeBron James and everyone else. But You could have told Dan Gilbert that, hey, Dan, I'm not coming back. You could have did that, but he didn't. But guess what? This is why I say that LeBron James, what's the movie Baby Boy? You remember Jody? Jody, how he was a baby boy and now he became a man? This is LeBron James. He was a baby boy, now he is a man. He learned from his mistakes. I said on my last show that there's only two reasons why he was to meet with Pat Riley. One reason to say, hey, let's get this championship. The other reason is to tell him that, you know what, Pat, I respect everything that you and Mickey Arison has done for me, but it's over. It's done. And that's what happened in that meeting. Maybe Pat Riley didn't see it that way, but obviously that's what LeBron James had put out there. He just wasn't smart enough to pick up on it. But wow, y'all, I am completely thrown back by this. We're going to talk a lot more about LeBron James going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're back, and this is the Grizz. LeBron James